Hello, my crafty friends. Hi, Janet. I've got the air conditioner going and the door open, so I have lots of ventilation while I'm playing with the alcohol ink. So tell me if you can hear me, Janet, if the the audio is okay. I don't want it to be, overtaken by the air conditioner or the noise from outside. Good, good. Well, this camera says that it eliminates background noises or reduces it at least, so I was hoping that it would. I'm not going to get started for a few minutes and let a few more people get here, but it's good to see you. Hi, Jennifer. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I should have probably sat down and looked through this book some more. Let me get rid of that just a second. Look through this book some. It's probably been a year and a half since I've even played with alcohol ink. And but I'm just going to do basic stuff tonight and try to remember what I can. But this is a great book if you're interested in doing alcohol ink. This it's got all kinds of ideas in it. It's by Kathy Taylor. It's called Pigments of Your Imagination, Creating with Alcohol Ink. Hi, Kiki. I'm glad you're here. Anyway, some of the techniques I'll use are things that are in this book, and but to be honest, it's been so long since I read the book, I can't remember exactly what all is what all's from this book and what all's just stuff that I learned by doing it or by watching somebody on YouTube 3 years ago when I first started doing this. So hard to know. I hope it will be fun and interesting. I've really got to figure that I've got to remember how to do all this stuff since I'm teaching a class on it Thursday night. We're supposed to get some thunderstorms later this evening. I hope they happen because we desperately, desperately need the rain. But if they do, I'll probably have to cut off early, or at least go to something else besides alcohol ink because I'll need to shut the door. I don't want the rain to just blow in here because anything that happens in Amarillo happens with wind involved. We don't, if it's sunny, it's windy. If it's cloudy, it's windy. If it's raining, it's windy. It's windy all the time. So, well, I'm glad that you've been waiting, Janet. I'm glad that I could get on, and I hope you enjoy this. I'm glad you're doing good today, Kiki. I'm glad. Tired is way better than it could have been. Did you enjoy coming to Amarillo? I like it here. I've lived here all my life. My brother and sister got away from here as quick as they could, but I've enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed living here. If you go on vacation, you really appreciate the vacation because this is not a vacation spot. Just drove through, yeah. Well, that's what most people do. They just are driving down I-40 or 287 to somewhere else. But I like living here. It's big enough where it's almost not quite 200,000 people. We've got a little community college and have some, a theater and where they, do plays and a few operas and symphony and, all that kind of stuff. So we've got a few culture type things. We've got an art museum that's associated with Amarillo College. And then we've got some museums and things like that. So it's a nice place to raise a family. It was a good place to homeschool because there were lots of things we could do for field trips. But anyway, I like it. I would recommend it as a place to live. One thing's for sure, we have weather. Get a little bit of everything. Although this last year, I think we got maybe 1 inch of snow all year, and that's really unusual. To just get barely any snow at all. But we usually have a little bit of everything. This year it's just been more warmth and dry and windy. The rain and the snow have eluded us pretty much this year. But anyway, yeah. Well, I guess that, everybody has weather, but I know a lot of people live in places where they have, one kind of weather mainly or something. But I remember growing up and hearing that Chicago was the windy city. I thought it meant, wind blowing. I didn't know what it really meant, and I never understood when they would talk about it having the wind blowing 12 miles per hour in Chicago, and it was blowing 40 here. It's like um, that never made sense to me until I was an adult, and I figured out that the windy city didn't mean that they had a lot of wind. um, well, yeah, isn't it terrible? Some places are flooding, and other places, like here, it's drought. So um, there's a little bit of, well, I guess what goes around comes around. It's all in different. Everybody gets different things at different times. Hi, Amber. It's good to see you here. Have y'all had a good holiday? We've had a very relaxing holiday. Just me and my husband and the kids sitting around watching TV, and I'm trying to also get ready to have a garage sale this weekend. One of my neighbors came over and said she's doing a garage sale Friday and Saturday, and she was hoping she could get several people on the block to participate, so we would get more people to come. And I thought, well, I got a lot of junk I need to get rid of, so I'm gonna do it. She's gonna put out all the signs, and she's gonna put it in the newspaper and on Craigslist and all that stuff. If she's gonna do that, I can at least throw some stuff outside and see if anybody wants to buy it. So I've been pulling stuff out. So now my house is even worse than normal with stuff everywhere. And my daughter's decided she had a lot of stuff she could get rid of, so she's been pulling stuff out. So she and I are going to have a garage sale this weekend. Hi, Mary. I'm glad you're here. I'm fixing to do some alcohol ink play, but I wanted to let a few more people get in before we got started. I've got my air conditioner going, and it's behind me, so it's blowing it's blowing that direction, and I've got the door open, and so it can blow the fumes out that way. So I'm hoping that that'll be enough, that this won't be an issue. That is one thing you need to think about when you're doing alcohol ink, is you need to have a good ventilated area so that you're not breathing the fumes. Hi, Patricia. I'm glad you're here. Oh, I let a fly in, though. That's the bad thing. But anyway, so I'm taking my precautions, getting as good a ventilation as I can, and I'm gonna burn it, Kiki. I am. That's my favorite part. It's got my little torch. Well, see if I can. It's not. It's not. It's not like a big blowtorch or anything. So, but it'll be fun. That's why I've got the foil, because that way if some of the alcohol gets on here, it won't catch stuff on fire. So anyway, it'll be fun. I'm going to start with tiles, because that's the thing I started learning how to work on. It's what I've done the most, and it's what I'm going to have when I teach the class on Thursday night. That's what I'm going to have everybody do, is work on tiles. But I'm also going to do a little bit on UPO paper and on some foil. I have this one crimping tool, and it's an embossing tool, but you kind of push the thing through. Well, let me get in and show you just a second. Looks like this, and you just put your paper through and twist it, and it embosses. It doesn't do a great job, but enough that we can see what'll happen. I did one just on, this is it's aluminum foil folded in thirds, so it's 3 thicknesses of aluminum foil. And then I've got this, which is this aluminum foil tape the brand on this is Bond tape. And I just put it on some cardstock and ran it through there. So it's got a little bit of embossing. It didn't emboss as well as the foil did. And then this is some of that foil tape just on craft paper. And on this one, I used an embossing folder, and I put it in there. And then I just used a rolling pin, and that was hard. Won't be doing that anymore. That was not fun. But it did emboss it a little bit, and so we'll play with that some. I've got just a piece of aluminum Christmas ornament. I thought we'd play on that. I have never done anything on that. And then I've also got a ceramic plate. I thought it might be fun to decorate a plate. It should work like the tiles, I think. I've never done it on a plate, but we'll see. And there's another one of those in case my other one runs out. And then I've also got this, I used it as a palette. I've got this dry erase paddle board. I thought we'd see if that'll work. See if I can open this up, get the plastic off. Anyway, it looks like this. So we'll play on that. And then I've got this, which is kind of I got it at Dollar Tree a long time ago, thinking I would do this, and I just never have. But it's kind of mirrored, but it's word. It's a word. It says believe. I'm going to make sure it doesn't have a piece of plastic over the top that you need to take off. I don't think so. I think it's just this. Anyway, I thought we would try some on that and see what happens. And then I've got a mirror in this little frame. I found it at the thrift store. So I thought we would play on that. I was looking for a piece of glass. I used a glass, I found a glass trivet that was about this big, like a cutting board size, but it wasn't a cutting board. That I used alcohol inks on and made flowers and things and gave it to my mom for Christmas. I should have that. I should have brought it over here so I could show you. It's at her house right now, but and it looks 3D. It was really cool, and I was thinking maybe the mirror might do the same thing. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway. Oh yeah, you see me in the foil? Woo! That's not so good. You can see me in the mirror too if I hold it just right. There I am. Hi. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. But we're going to start with tiles. Let me move this other stuff out of the way. I'm also going to, what was I going to say? Oh, I also made some alcohol inks of my own out of Sharpie markers and 91% isopropyl alcohol. So I thought the first thing I would do is take 2 tiles and work on one of them with the, a lot of substrates. I thought might as well show, how it is in a lot of different ways. I'm going to use some of the, these are the ones that I made. I just put them in these bottles where I had run out of alcohol ink in these bottles. So I put my homemade ones in there, and I'm going to play with those. And then right over here, I've got the ones Tim holds. I think all of mine are Adirondacks. So we'll play with those. And this is a spray that I made from a metallic marker. It doesn't work that great, but sometimes it does some cool effects when you spray it on. So we'll use those. Let me move these. That way I can move these down here. I've got some pliers because it's been over a year since I played with these, and so I don't know if I can even get them open. We'll see. A spray bottle with alcohol in it. I've also got some of the blending solution, and then I saw people who had recipes where they made their own blending solution out of hand sanitizer and alcohol, just, you know, put out enough alcohol in it to thin it down, and glycerin and alcohol. So I'll show you the difference between what those do and what this one does as well. So you can decide if you want to spend the money to buy the real blending solution or if you want to make your own. But so that's kind of what we're going to play with. I have some homemade of the little blending tools that they sell. I just made some out of some old stamps. And then I'm going to use a straw and I got a paintbrush. Woo! I didn't realize how dry that is. And some Q-tips and paintbrushes. You can use all of those things. So we'll see. Yes, I do need to cover my keyboard. You're right. Thank you, friend. Thank you. Thank you. Where did I put my... Okay. There we go. Thank you very much. Hi, Clara. I'm glad you're here. Sorry it took me a minute to notice that you came. And I don't know how many of you have worked with alcohol inks at all. I'm going to mostly do basic stuff. So, so if you've done a lot of work with alcohol inks, this may be boring for you. But if you've never done it, you'll probably find it interesting. I know I was very fascinated the first time I saw anybody play with them. And I've enjoyed it. I've also got a turnaround thing so that I can make flowers. So we'll do some of that too. And I've got some photo paper that we'll play on. Some photo papers work good and some don't. So we'll play on those. And everything I've got is from a thrift store. So I'm not going to spend photo paper money prices. I'll just use what I can find at the thrift store for 50 cents. So the tiles I did buy, these big tiles are not quite white. You can see a difference. These I got at the thrift store. I got a box of them for $3. These tiles I got at Home Depot, and I got a box of them of 100 for $15. So this is the most expensive substrate I'll be working on. But, you know, one at a time, they're not that expensive. It's like 45 cents each or something like that. So it's not an expensive hobby as far as substrate goes, unless you use Yupo paper. And I do have some Yupo paper. So that's fine, Mary. Just listen and fussy cut. That's what I do when you're on live. I listen and fussy cut. That way I can get some fussy cutting in. I have a hard time doing nothing. You know, I have to be doing something. So if I'm watching TV, I'm fussy cutting or getting images out of magazines. If I'm watching somebody's live show, I'm usually fussy cutting or getting something out of magazines or old books or whatever. That's when I do that. It's when I'm watching someone else do something. I'm not as good at bringing my computer out here so I can watch and play along. I would like to do that. I just don't think to as often. Okay, well, let's get started. The first thing that you need to do is you want to clean your tiles, because any handprints or lint or anything that's on there will mess it up. And since we're going to do this, first thing is a comparison of the bought alcohol inks and the homemade ones. I'm going to be working with two tiles at the same time. Now the colors won't be, you know, exactly the same because they're these are whatever Sharpies are. These weren't even Sharpie brand. These were cheap Sharpies from Dollar Tree that I made this out of. So so they won't coordinate exactly, but I'll try to do something similar. And a lot of these are really close to being out. So we'll see what we get. I hope that doesn't mean that they're, you know, aren't going to work anymore. um, you'll see that it expands after you make the drops. The homemade ones do that too. Some of them better than others. Some colors work out better. One thing that you can do is drop drip into extent. Sometimes they push them out of the way, and sometimes they try to see. That's not normally it would push it out of the way better than that. I'm thinking my inks are getting old, but anyway, we'll just go ahead and play. The one thing about them is that they don't normally make mud. Now this seems to have. This is indigo, and I forgot about this because it's been so long since I did this, but indigo reacts differently than anything else does. So, so there is that to consider. It doesn't react the way all the other ones do. I should have used a different blue probably. Well, I didn't realize how out some of these are. Okay, that one's empty. Now you can see how the green is kind of pushing. It didn't just envelop it like the red did on the indigo. And now it's pushing through the indigo too. And while these don't do quite as much as these do, you can see the difference. If you would rather spend, you know, $5 and make a bunch of them, or maybe $7, or spend $7 with a coupon from at Hobby Lobby and get 3, you know, you can see the difference. But you can still see you get some of the effects. Now this is just dropping it. This isn't doing anything special to it. I do want to show you what happens when you spray them with alcohol. You can see it makes little cells. This one did too. Not so that's one thing that you can do. And one thing, when you have a mess like this that you're just not that excited about, one thing you can do is put a little bit more color on it. Let's find an orange over here. It's kind of like, you know, this is really good for mixed media people because we like to just keep adding stuff. It's kind of like that. If you don't like it, just keep going. You know, that's what we say about mixed media. If you don't like it, just add another layer. Well, alcohol inks are kind of the same. And one thing that you can do is use the blending solution. And then, well, come on, it's not going to work now. And then light it on fire. I don't know if you can see the fire, but you can see how it's changing it. And as the alcohol gets burned off, then the fire goes out once the alcohol is burned off. It's kind of hard to see if that's done. Yeah, it is. Okay. That's what it looks like after we burned it. And that's with the with alcohol blending solution. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Let's move these back a little bit. So I always say, if you don't like it, burn it and see what you think, because it looks better after that. That one's done. See, it looks a whole lot different, doesn't it? Hi, Aristi. I'm glad you're here. We're playing with alcohol ink. So far, we haven't done anything fancy. We've just dropped some drops and then put some blending solution and caught it on fire. So that's that. Now you can still go back in and change things at this point. You can just drip drips of alcohol on it. And it'll change. It'll make those cells like when we sprayed it, except they're bigger. So that's kind of fun too. I wish I could zoom in. Mary, for some reason, I'll try it, but for some reason it doesn't seem like it allows me to zoom in when I'm live, like it does when I'm doing a video, and I don't know what the difference is. Come on. See, it's not even letting me go to the controls. Sometimes it'll let the controller come up and sometimes it won't. I need to talk to somebody and see if I can figure out why that is. But it's not, I don't think this will work. No, it won't, because it tells me my webcam's already in use, so I can't do this. I'm sorry, Mary. But I think that's fun to do that. One other thing you can do, if you're not happy with what you've got, you can spray some alcohol on a pad like this, and then you can just and it kind of blends it up. Now this is just going to make a mess because there's too much of that dark color, but you can see what it does. See if you can get the light on there. That just looks like a dark mess, doesn't it? Anyway, that's with the blending tool and just some alcohol. Yeah, I've done that too, where I put one on and then burn it. But I haven't done that in a long time. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've done this, and I find myself forgetting everything that I have done before. Let me get some more felt. And I have some scissors somewhere. Oh, here they are. Oh. Yes, these are ceramic tiles, just plain white ceramic tiles, like you put in your bathroom or something. And they don't have to be white. These are kind of a cream color. You could do it on any color. White just intensifies the color of the inks. Oh, we'll pass this one a little bit and see what happens here. Now this is just, I'm just making a mess here, and that's just, I want to be real with you. I don't want you to think everything turns into something beautiful, because it doesn't. But everything turns out interesting. So while that's not, you know, a pretty flower or anything like that, it's still very interesting and fun. So one thing that I like about this is that you don't have really as much control as you'd like to think. So if you're one of those people who likes to control things, you will either like this in spite of itself, or you won't like it at all, one or the other. Let me put these up a little closer so you can see. Whoops. That's what they look like. And I think they're pretty just like that. But I like that kind of abstractness. I think it's pretty. Just the color and but now let's try to do something specific with it instead of just making a mess. A pretty mess, but a mess. And I'm gonna do one of these. And I'm gonna try to do some leaves and a flower. I need to wash it first. Thanks, Patricia. Thank you. I'm glad y'all like it. I probably only made 2 or 3 that I actually thought were so bad I had to throw them away. So we'll see. I'm going to make some leaves and along the edges, and I'm going to put a big flower in the middle. I'm not good at leaving white space. Y'all probably figure that out. And sometimes your leaves look better if you do several layers of them. Yeah, they would make good backgrounds. And I have taken pictures of some of them. I'm just going to put a few more layers of the leaves so they'll look. Now you can tell these are leafy things. They're not some specific kind of leaf. Some people can do a specific kind, but leaf facsimiles is pretty much what I do. Okay, that's our leaves. Should fly. And I'm going to take a little bit of alcohol and see if I can get some of this off. I may wish I hadn't done that, but That was just a little too much leaf where I didn't want it. I probably should be using a Q-tip. That would probably work better. Okay, it doesn't matter. We're gonna cover it up with the flour anyway. One of the things I like to do is make the flower's leaves kind of overlap the green, which pushes the green back to the background. And I'm trying to think, some of these colors work better than others. And I can't remember which ones are which. It's been so long since I did any of them. Okay, we'll use this one, and where's the purple? Okay, we'll use Purple Twilight and Wild Plum, and we'll make a flower with these. So let's see what happens here. If I can get it open. Oh, goodness. Don't leave your inks for, a year without opening them, or you have to use flowers. Okay. That's one of the bad things. It gets crusty. And then if the crusts drip on here, then when the alcohol gets on there, they go, whoo! Kind of like the dry pigment watercolors and things. So, okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay, you can see the flower starting to develop. I don't know if you can see that very good. It's a Adirondack, and this one is Purple Twilight, and these are Tim Holtz. And that's where they are. They're with all the Tim Holtz stuff. Okay, let's add some of the Purple Twilight in here just for kicks. Okay, let's go right there. Okay, so there's what it looks like so far. It is kind of like an alcohol pour. You're right. And it's the straw method is pretty much the same. Yes, the first time I saw Melissa do that with the acrylic pouring, this is what it reminded me of. I was like, oh, I do that with alcohol ink. It's the same, pretty much the same method. Okay, now then we want to put a center in it. And I usually try to do a center that's kind of a contrasting color, like orange or yellow is what I usually put in the center. And then I have to try to blow straight down so it goes out all the way around. And that's not as easy to do. I need a shorter straw to do that. And I'm probably going to get in your way when I do that. I think I'm going to use this terracotta. You can't read it very good because it's all inky, but okay, now I got to do a center again because it kind of messed it up. Okay, at this point, this is what it looks like. Let me see if I've got another one of those yellows. Yeah, here it is. Okay. This is sunshine yellow that I'm going to do for the very center. And I'm just going to drop it in there, and then I'm going to let it go. Let it do its thing. That made kind of a big center. Okay. And one other thing you can do, here's what it looks like now. One other thing you can do for the center is I want something that'll show up. I think I'll go ahead and do this orange again. And you put it on the Q-tip. And then you just this will make kind of the little stamen looking dots. Can you see the little dots? Hi, Sandy. I'm glad you're here. We're playing with alcohol ink. And that looks darker on the screen than it does in person. But I'm going to go ahead and go back now with the that light yellow, and I'm going to do the same thing with the light yellow that I just did with the orange. Right in the center. I had too much alcohol ink on here, and you can see how it just kind of spread out and made a blob. So I'm going to try to go back in now and see if I can. Okay, so there's that one. So that's one thing that's fun to do. And to be honest, most of the things I've done have been flowers or just the dots and abstract kind of things that I doodled on later. And you can even doodle on these, but this one looks a little different than this thing would have looked on white. It's amazing the difference between a white one. Well, let's just play with a flower on this white one, and maybe you can see the difference here. Let me clean this. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use my homemade inks, and let's see if they'll. I've never tried to make a flower with my homemade ones, so let's try it and see what happens. Oh, this isn't my homemade one. This one, wow, that works really well. Oh, where's the lid for this? Oh, right here. Okay, let's put that up for now, and let's try it with my homemade one. We'll see the contrast really quickly, probably. The color's not quite as intense. Well, we're just covering it up. It's okay. I'll show you a different kind of flower. We'll let it push the ink out of the way. Well, that really uglied up. Let me get that out of there. Mixing the two doesn't work, obviously. I think I'm just going to see if I can get this part cleaned up here. Okay, let's just clean it all off. I remember the first time Hannah and I were doing this, I don't know how many times she cleaned off her tile, and I said, "Why are you doing that?" And she said, "Well, because I don't want to waste the tile." I said, "Well, you're wasting a lot more ink than that tile is worth." Because I don't know how many times she did it before she got something she was happy with, but and she hadn't even thought about that, you know. But you can wipe it back and start over. So let's do that. Let's see if this is. Uh-oh. Oh, goodness. Okay. I have to pause here and clean up a mess. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Okay. Let's see. We'll try this one. This is a reddish pink of some kind. When you're using the Sharpies, you don't have real color names, so. Okay. We're going to stop with that color right now. And go around and. One of the main differences between the ones you make and the other ones is that these don't dry as fast. So, let's see. What do we want? Let's do this orangey in the middle. I used Sharpie pens, the insides of Sharpie pens from Dollar Tree. I just took that inside out. It's like a little plastic sleeve with cotton and ink in it. And I cut those up and put them in a little cup with some alcohol. And I just kind of mashed it around in there and let the color come out into the alcohol. And then I used gloves because I squeezed it out as much as I could out into the alcohol. And then I poured them up into the bottles. And these were extra bottles I had left over from the inks that I had used up. Okay. That I didn't need to go from the middle, I guess, because that didn't work too good. It all kind of went one direction. All right. Now let's put some yellow in the middle. I'm just going to drop it in there. And this one is still, it's amazing how wet this still is. But that's what it looks like right now. I don't know, Mary. I haven't ever tried that. I think the problem with the pastels would be it would be gritty. I might be, that's right. There's only one way to find out. That's true. If I knew where my pastels were, I would try it and we would see. But I can't remember where they are at the moment. And if you've got something like this and you're not particularly fond of it, which I'm not, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to just use this hand sanitizer. It's my homemade alcohol blending solution since we're doing the homemade inks. And I'm going to, we'll light it on fire and see what happens. Oh, that doesn't want to light. You have to just, there we go. It finally did. And it's not, it doesn't work as well as the one that you buy. What you need, babe? No, because I've got the alcohol inks. I don't want it shut. It's ventilating, keeping me safe. We're just going to turn this into something else because it's certainly not making a very good flower. So I have to admit, this is one of the few that I wouldn't want to keep. Not too excited about it. Yeah, we'll try it, Janet. What I use is this 91% isopropyl alcohol. That's what, so that's what I'm using for this. It would be interesting. It sure would be. It would be fun to find out. Okay, well you're good then, Janet. You got the alcohol, you got the pastels. So do it and take some pictures and show us. Tell us whether it turns out to be good or not. Okay, I'm not very happy with that one. Okay, let's do this just for kicks. Now it's decided not to work. Okay, now let's do this. See if it does anything good. May just make it worse, but that's okay. It was yucky anyway. I don't know if you can see the sediment in that, but there is a little bit of sediment in this. And so it doesn't make it as pretty as the ones that, and these were, inks out of a pen, so they were liquid to begin with. So for that reason, I don't know that I would, I don't know. We'll just have to let Janet do an experiment and tell us how those pastel things work. That one I don't like. I think it's ugly. So we're going to do another one that I'm just going to do drops all over it. And then I'm going to because this is my favorite way to do it when you burn it, is to just do colors you like together. And then another background. Yeah, well, maybe so. Okay, let's clean this off. Some specks on it. Okay, and because I'm not very happy with what they're doing, I'm not gonna show you anymore with the homemade ones, just because I don't think they work as well, and I want you to see something that's as good as I can show you. So we won't work with those anymore. But okay. One thing when you're doing this, if you will let the colors dry before you put the next dots on, it works a little bit differently than if you don't. Let's put a few of these on and see. If you put some in the middle, right in the middle of the other ones, sometimes they do things that are different than when you put them beside it. And I'm just going to let these do their thing. Yeah, they're worth making. I agree. And I do like to play with mine. And on that other tile, I thought it worked pretty good. Actually, that sediment may have been the hand sanitizer that I used instead of the regular blending solution. So there are a lot of variables there. Let's do some, I'm just putting some color down right now. Kind of making a mess. Yeah, it just kind of pushes it out of the way. And that's what usually happens. Sometimes it will mix. You can see some of this has mixed a little bit, but mostly it just pushes it out of the way. And that's why you get the dark circles around the outsides, because it's pushing all the pigment out. And then it makes the dark spots. So you can see it right now. You can see it pushing stuff out of the way. See how that green is expanding? It's just pushing it out of the way. Okay, now we're going to burn it. Let's see what happens. And you don't have to go in a circle motion. I just do because I like the way it burns when you do that. Okay, so you can kind of see how it kind of blended it all together and softened it up a little bit when you burned it. But if you don't think that's enough, you can do it again. Woo! We got some real fire this time. But you can tell it goes out really quick. As soon as it's burned off the alcohol, it's gone, you know. And that's what it looks like. It kind of looks like, sometimes I've done a few that look like the Aurora Borealis or something, you know. You can also paint with them. I did a landscape on one. I wish I had, well, let me, no, it's not on my phone because that was before I got this phone. Where I just painted in a landscape. And let's see if I have another tile up here. I do have another tile. We'll play with that just a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's clean this one. Yeah, it does look like a kaleidoscope, Kiki. That's right. So let's get some grass here at the bottom. Let me find some paintbrushes. Oh, I had stuff in that one from last time. That's not very much green. Okay, maybe I need to clean my brushes better. Let's clean this off. That doesn't look good. Okay. I need some alcohol just to clean my brushes. So that's what I'm going to use this for. All right. I think if you do the old dominoes, the ones that are actually made out of stones or glass, you know, you might can. But if they're, you know, if they're plastic, they would just, that might not work so well. I haven't ever tried to do it on dominoes. And the problem with vases, I tried to do one. You can control it even less because they're rounded. But it would be, I haven't tried the burn technique on a vase. That would be interesting. Ooh, too much. The more you go over it, the more texture you have. as it dries, then it'll stay with whatever was the, the last thing you did to it before it dried. And one thing you can do too is just paint. Ooh, got too much. I don't know where it is, but I had a really, 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 really teeny tiny little brush that had very few hairs on it, and I made a lot of little grass, like that. But you can make some grassy stuff like that, and then let's try for some sky here. Let's see, we've got denim, sailboat blue. We'll try sailboat blue. I'm just going to use a paper towel and see, I should have painted my sky all the way down and then added the green on top of it. So we may have to go back and add some more green in order to get the sky all the way down. Okay, so there we've got our sky and still some grass left. So we need to go back in with the green, and let me use a smaller brush here and see if we can get the grass to. May not be exactly grass, but some kind of greenery here. Some kind of growth. Okay, so now we've got some sky and some growth, some greenery of some kind. Hi, Holly. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry I didn't notice you earlier. I'm trying to play with alcohol ink and remember how to do it. It's been so long since I've done this. Let's put these in here and see if we can get the green off of them. May try to paint a tree and see if that'll work. It's amazing how much paint stays in. It just soaks way down into the deal, so a tree may not work so well, but anyway, we'll get, maybe we can get some brown on there and we can make some kind of something. Okay, I've got slate gray, but here's teak wood. We'll try that one. Now, when I did this before, I used the slate gray and I made mountains in the background. I didn't put any, and then I just made greenery on them, so I didn't actually do any trees. So we'll see. We'll just try to put one tree in here. I'm not the best tree painter. Hope Ian's not watching because he paints great trees and would just make him sad to see my trees. I almost put that on right over the top of the deal and probably would have ended up with a brown blob. Okay. There's a sort of a tree. It's my take on a tree at the moment anyway. Hi, Patricia. I'm glad you're here. Patricia number 2. I'll forget who's 1 and who's 2, so you'll just have to both be just Patricia to me. Okay, we're going to let that be our tree. Thanks, Janet. I just kind of want to show you different things that you can do. This technique takes a lot more patience to end up with something that you like. And so, you know, it's kind of depends on what you want to do. Problem with trees is that you can't ever stop. You just want to keep on going. Okay. Now I think I want to try to add some, maybe a few flowers in these, on these taller stems that we've got down there. And we may just do those with a Q-tip. Make them very simple here. Let's see what we've got. We'll try this poppy field. This is poppy field that we're going to use for the flowers. Okay, let's just put in some flowers here. Maybe we'll make a field of poppies. It's actually turned out pretty cute. That's funny. Okay, so I'll let you see the poppies. And let's try to work with the white a little bit. I don't, my white is very, very old, so I don't know if it'll even do anything. But we'll try to make a cloud in this if we can. Thanks, Janet. I think it's turning out pretty good. That it's a, I don't know if y'all can see the texture on the tree, but I think that turned out pretty good. I'm surprised. I had never done a tree before. I guess I'm gonna have to put some leaves on that tree because it would be leafed out when the poppies are blooming. So we may have to try that too. Okay. I'm gonna, let me find something real quick here. I've got these little foam pieces that you put on the bottom of furniture or something. And I'm going to put a fresh one of those on here and see if we can make some clouds. I've never tried to do it before. These will be my first clouds, but we'll see. Let's give it a little bit more here. Okay, you can kind of see them. They're not real vivid, but you can see that there is, some definition in the sky at least. We'll let that dry a minute, and then we'll try our hand at some leaves. I'm not good at doing leaves. With regular paint, so I'm not sure how this will work out. But we're gonna play with it and try anyway. Wispy little clouds, that's right. I feel like I ought to probably maybe add a little bit more to them because they're not really showing up that much. And maybe Maybe they'll show up a little more if I add a little bit more. Anyway, we'll see. There we go. That looks better. Uh-oh. We ended up with a knot hole or a bird's hole or something in the tree. Some white dripped on it. That's okay, I guess. Yeah, wispy little clouds. Okay. Those are still kind of wet. The metallics, the gold and the silver and the white, are called mixatives, and they act completely different. And they're supposed to have a ball in there. But mine are so old, they're not shaking. Hi, Vicki. I'm glad to have you here. There we go. You can hear the ball in that one. I wasn't able to get the white one to mix up enough that the ball would. Good morning. Good morning to you too, Vicki. It's 8:30 p.m. here. The silver one, the ball in it's still working too, but that white one, the ball in it's stuck somewhere. Anyway, oh, we got a drop right there on the grass too. So our tree got a knot hole and the grass got a something. Okay. 11:30 a.m. So is it Tuesday or Monday there, Vicki? Tuesday. Wow. You're way, way ahead of us. Well, that's really cool. It's so fun to be able to talk to people who are on the other side of the world and do art with them. That's so fun. And it's not even the same day. Oh, I love it. I love it. There are good things about our world. You know, we sometimes I feel like that it's going to pot, but there are some good things, and you guys are some of the good things that's going on nowadays. Okay, I'm trying to get my courage up to paint some leaves. All right, let's just do it. Ooh. Well, it's making more like little bushy leaves than real leaves. This is going to be a bushy little tree here. Maybe it'll be pretty anyway. It's kind of like time lapse. You can just watch the tree blossoming. That's kind of cool. I'm glad I decided to try that. I wasn't too afraid. I don't think I got any more. Excuse me. I agree, Patricia. It is good to meet people from different countries. Makes our world, I don't know, it makes it feel more um, happy. If only the rest of the world enjoyed meeting people from different countries as much as artsy people do. I'm sure there are a lot of not so artsy people who enjoy it too, but kind of feel like the crafting group is a little more eager to share with the whole world than a lot of people are. I would like to think that I'm wrong about that, but just a second, I'm going to hold it up and let y'all look at it and see what you think. I'm trying to give these big blobs a little more leafy texture instead of just being huge globs. Thanks, Patricia. They look pretty good from here too. I'm kind of amazed. Almost feel like an artist. Almost. Okay. I'm afraid if I do much more, I'll end up regretting it. So there's my tree. Thanks, Kathy. Some of these are really fat, and I'm trying to make them look less so, maybe. Um, I think I'm going to stop right there. I'm afraid if I, hi, Rose. I'm so glad you're here. Well, our wind has been picking up, and they said we were going to storm tonight, so we'll see. If it starts storming, I'll have to go in the house. But right now, I've got the air conditioner going in here. I'm air conditioning the great old outdoors because I've got my window open. I mean, my door open too. So we got about a half inch of rain last night. And if you include that with the half inch we got a couple of weeks ago, we've had like 1 inch of rain in the last 8 months. So we're desperately needing the rain. I would rather get off the internet and go to the house and let it rain as much as I enjoy being with y'all. I would rather have some rain, but I don't want bad storms. This is what we just did, Rose. And now I'm going to try to do some alcohol inks on Yupo paper and the back of some photo paper because that's something you can get a lot cheaper than Yupo. Even if you go and buy it at the store in regular price, it's cheaper than Yupo paper is. Okay. Um, actually, before we do that, I want to play on that plate a little bit. I forgot I was going to do that. Just a second. So we'll play on the plate, and then we will play with some of the other things that we were going to try. Well, the ink, you need to seal it with something, Holly, to get the ink to stay put. You have to seal it. I use, let me see if I can find what I use. Just a second. I use this Duplicolor Engine Enamel Clear Gloss with ceramic. It says it withstands heat up to 500 degrees, but you have to cook it in your oven for it to be to work the best. I'm trying to find out where it says that. Maybe that was the other kind. Maybe you don't have to this one. Let me see. Okay, this one. This one actually doesn't. Maybe that's why I switched to this one, because it doesn't say you have to heat it. The other one I was using, you had to heat at 200 degrees in the oven, and it kind of stunk. But this one doesn't say that. It just says it can be handled in 3 hours, dries to the touch in an hour. But this is about $7 at the AutoZone or whatever. I may have even gotten this one at Walmart. They do carry this brand, I think, at Walmart, but I think they didn't have the clear gloss, and I got it at AutoZone. But that's what I put on top of mine so that you can use it as a trivet or a coaster. Now, if you're just going to put it up as art and you just want to hang it on the wall or something like that, then you can use this triple thick crystal clear glaze from Krylon. And that works really well if it's not going to be used, as a trivet or something. And that's cheaper. That's about $3 a can. So, but, well, I'm not spraying it now. I haven't sprayed anything tonight, but I do wear a mask, and I do it outside. If it's not blowing so hard outside that it's going to blow gunk in it. If I do it inside, I do, but outside, I don't worry about the mask. Right now, I've just got my door open, and so I'm not worrying about masking up right now either. That's working really well since my air conditioner's blowing everything towards the door. But so we're going to play with this. Let's clean it a little bit. See if we can make this plate into something pretty. Now, you wouldn't want to, put food on it, but you could hang it up. And I don't want to burn it because burning it will make it all, since it's got a curved shape, burning it will just make everything go to the middle. So we're just going to have to end up with whatever we end up with here. That is pretty pricey, Janet. Dollar Tree sometimes has photo paper. I haven't tried using theirs, so I don't know if it's any good. But like I said, all the photo paper I have, I got at the thrift store. So that's what we're going to play with, is what I got at the thrift store. I've got several different kinds, and we'll probably figure out that some of them work and some of them don't. Yeah, I got 2 of these plates at the thrift store for $1 a piece. Oh, actually, it was 50% off day, so I just got 2 of them for $1. This says it's Rhines, China from Japan. Anyway, I'm going to take one of them when I'm teaching the class. and work on it there. So I'm trying to decide what to do on here. Since it's a plate, I'm tempted to just do another flower, or maybe several small flowers. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll do some leaves and we'll do some small flowers. A nice slice of apple pie. Yeah. Well, oh, I just busted a blister. Woo! That's what happens when your alcohol inks haven't been open for a year. You rub blisters in your finger, and I didn't even know I had a blister till I just busted it. Okay. Ouch. All right. Okay, move on. I always think these look kind of like lettuce leaves. You have to be careful. Sometimes you end up spitting on it. Don't want to do that. Sorry. Think that. Oh goodness, this drain's leaking everywhere. Okay. It would be fun. Um, but I don't know if it, there might be some kind of food safe sealer out there on the market. I just don't know about it. This is the first time I've ever worked on a plate. I've always done, on tiles, or, to make trivets and stuff. So, or on the paper. I haven't even done very much on paper, mostly just tiles. Okay. What did I just knock off? Oh, a tile. It was an ugly one. It won't matter. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave that for the green, and then we're going to try to make some flowers. You could do that on the clear glass plate on top. That's an idea. Ouch. Okay. I'm going to try doing the straight down from the center for the flowers so I can make smaller ones. Where did my, there it is. So my head's probably going to kind of get in the way. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to let those dry a little bit. Clean my hands just a little bit here. Some of this will come off with baby wipes. Not too great though. This blending solution does a good job of cleaning things up, and so does the 91% alcohol. But you, if you don't put gloves on, you may be inky for a few days. Okay, let's do some of this little pretty yellow color here. This one's kind of uglying up a little bit because there's too much green right by it. May need to do something brighter there. Let those sit a minute, and then I'm gonna do some of the orange, I think. Okay, I'm gonna read chat here a minute because I missed something. Got to see what plate Janet has here. I missed that. It went up. When I was younger, I bought a plate like that at Woolworth and decoupaged, cut up Christmas cards on it. My mother hung that plate every year till she passed away. That's so sweet. What a cool memory. I'm glad you still have the plate. That's neat. Yeah, show us the picture. I would love to see the picture. Okay, there it is. Okay, that's a pretty similar to those darker ones. I don't think I'm going to do the, well, I need to because it's not going to be symmetrical if I don't do them both with some orange. Okay, but I don't like the orange, so I'm going to go back in with more yellow. Okay, that's not looking like I want it to look. Let's do a little bit more on the red ones. Okay. I don't really like those yellow ones. I may just make them red because I don't like the yellow ones. All right, that's what we're going to do. Here we go. All right, let's do one in the middle here. Okay, that didn't turn out as pretty as I wanted it to. Okay. I'm going to see if I can put one little dot in the center of each of these without. Well, I can tell you right now, I'm definitely not going to be able to show them this many things at the guild meeting because um, I've already gone 2 hours and I'm only going to have about 45 minutes. And they're going to want to play some. So we're going to do very, very simple at the guild meeting and just let them play. That's what's the most fun anyway. All right. Well, that's what it looks like. I'm not very pleased with it, but yeah, they're metallic. There's the gold and silver. I've got gold and silver. We might could put some gold dots on these just for kicks. And these you can put on top, or you can. They don't mix in with the other stuff very well. I don't know why they call them a mixative, but I think it's because you have to mix them up. But I may be wrong. But yeah, I haven't tried any of the new ones. I've just got the gold and the silver. Let's try putting some. I don't know. I'm just going to put some dots in random places because I'm not happy with this anyway. We may even end up burning it because I'm not happy with it. Let's just sprinkle them. Can you tell I'm not happy? Let's just add some gold. I probably didn't do justice to your gold, Mary, but anyway, I just threw some gold in there because I could. Gold sprinkles, yeah. I have gone crazy. That's what happens when I don't like something. I just throw stuff at it. Well, do we want to burn it and see what happens? You want to try? Do we want to try burning it? See if it helps anything? It might make it worse, but I already don't like it, so keep working through it. Burn that puppy, says Rose. Okay. You haven't got to see me burn anything anyway, Rose, so it's about time, I guess. Okay, let's get these things back. Don't want anything that can burn along with it. Yeah, a bunch of pyromaniacs. The mixatives act funny. You can see it. Them acting weird when it burns. No, I don't have any marshmallows. Sorry. Woo, that one got hot. They don't usually get hot. The tiles don't, but they're thicker. That's not beautiful, but it's prettier than it was. Oh, dear. Okay. Yeah, it's prettier than it was. You want to see my mess?
Just want to make sure you didn't hurt yourself.
No, I didn't hurt myself.
I think it's pretty.
You think it's pretty? Well, I'm glad you think it's pretty, Hannah. Yeah, the burning changes it a lot. It completely changes the look, which is why I really like it. So I'm glad you like it, Mary. I like it better now, better than I did before. Oh, where to put it? Okay, let's play with some of these other things just for kicks, and then we'll go on to the Yupo paper. I think I'm going to save that one for my demonstration at the guild meeting, but we'll play on these. You could probably burn it on this one, but I wouldn't burn it on this one. Well, you can play with them without burning them, Rose. You don't have to light them on fire. The first guy I watched do it used a blowtorch, and he would go woof. I was like, oh, I can't do that, but I can use my little thing. Okay, let's start with this one because it's just the I don't know where I put that, but it's that aluminum tape just stuck down on here. And one of the things that's fun to do with this is using the mixing what do you call it? Blending thing. So I'm just going to put some drops randomly. On my website, I have a tutorial where I used alcohol inks on some embossed of this tape that was embossed that I put on a cover to a journal, and it turned out real good. This is you see, it's not blooming on here like it does on the tiles. So you can just wipe it, I guess, if you want to, you know, just to make the give some color. I didn't wipe the last one I did. I just put it in little spots and then pounced it, but you can give it, you know, just give it something metal, some color. Let's try going back in and seeing if any of these will do anything to it now that we've. You can see it blooming a little bit once there's some alcohol ink on there, but it's really not doing a whole lot. So let's pounce it and see what the difference is. Let's put a little bit of this on here. No, let's spray it with a little alcohol. This isn't my favorite thing to work on, but you can, at least you know you can use it to color foil if you want to. Not so great. Not so great with that, but let's try it on the actual foil. And let's use mermaid. Oh, we can't use mermaid. It's empty. All right, let me look and see if I've got a new one. I've got some new ones down here. Yeah, here's one. Okay. It colors it pretty, but it doesn't. Let's get some more color on here, and then we'll try and see if we can wipe it off. I don't know if we can do that or not. Now, if I do too much pouncing, it's gonna it's going to end up mashing out my I would mess up the embossing if I pounced it too much. Okay, now how do I wipe it away? Somebody told me to wipe it away. How do I wipe the color away? Just alcohol on a paper towel or? Gently. Okay, that's good advice, Patricia. You wipe it away gently with alcohol on a paper towel. Is that what you use? It would make pretty artists trading coins. That's a great idea, Mary. Oh, I can hear thunder. Okay, let's see if we can. I'm probably not doing it right, Patricia. That kind of antiques it. Well, what do you think? It's interesting. Okay, now let's see if we can get any alcohol inks to work on this. I'm not trying to figure out what it is. I guess it's plastic that's just supposed to kind of be mirrored. Let's do it like that. Maybe we need to leave it on the black. Maybe that'll work better so you can see it. But trying to, I don't know. Okay, we're just gonna. That is kind of bowed. Okay, let's see what happens here. um, see what happens. It just stays in a puddle right on top. It doesn't even spread out or anything. This is obviously not a good substrate for alcohol ink. Let's see if it will stick to it if I spread it around. Let's put a little bit more on this because it, I think it just soaked right into my Q-tip, and so it didn't really spread it around. Okay. Now let's see. That's what it looks like right now. Let's see what adding some red will do if we do it maybe just in certain places. Okay. Let's try spreading that a little bit. Interesting. Where's my lid? There it is. Hi, Care. We're playing with alcohol inks. You missed the good stuff. Now we're just seeing if it'll work on different things. Let's see. That's what it looks like right now. So far on this, it's not doing the normal alcohol ink stuff. So, well, I was trying to decide if I really want it even or if I'm just trying to make it, you know, messy. Before I started doing mixed media anything, I did alcohol inks. For a couple of years, I just played with that. I made gifts and gave them away at Christmas and that kind of thing. And then I was having so much pain. I just quit doing alcohol inks and started sitting in my recliner a lot. And that's when I started doing more paper stuff. But I'm going to be showing alcohol inks to some people when on Thursday night. So I'm trying to remember how to do it. But this right here is just play because I don't know. I don't know if it'll. This may, you know, make mud. I don't know if it'll make mud. I'm just trying to see what'll happen. Kind of like playing with paint. In a minute, I'll show you, those of you who weren't here at the beginning, what we've done so far with the alcohol ink. But let's take it off the black, and maybe it'll show up a little bit better. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Nothing spectacular. but it is fun. Yeah. But you can see all the colors, the blue and the orange and the red. It didn't mix, which I guess is good, but it didn't actually look very alcohol inky either. I'm afraid that it might turn to mud if I try to do anything else. I thought about putting some of the blending tool on a Pouncy and the blending solution on a blending tool and see if I can get it um, to do the marbly mottled look, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Okay. Here's one we did that we burned. We just put a bunch of drops of stuff on it and then some blending solution and torched it. And then here's our plate. We tried to do flowers on it and didn't like that. So we put some gold on it and didn't like that. So we torched it. Now it looks better. So both of those are done with the torch. And these are the first two we did. And we did these with the, this one I did with my homemade alcohol inks. And this one I did with the ones from Ranger. And we used the Pouncy mixing method with this one. So we did those. And then we did, let's find it here. Then we did this flower. And then we did this little landscape scene or whatever you want to call it. So that's what we've done so far. I did want to see if they'll work on this aluminum piece. So we'll try to make a red flower on this. Maybe we can hang it on the Christmas tree. Let's do just a little bit of leaves, but not a whole all the way around. And amphibious eye. That's a little scary. Oh, but that is kind of what it looks like. Somebody's watching you. Okay, let's I need my long straw. I want to put my hand in it that way. Maybe I need to go the other direction. Yeah. Okay. We're just going to leave that there, and we're going to try to make a flower. This does seem to be working better than it did, moving better than it did on the foil. So let's I'm dripping it everywhere here. Okay. Well, let me dry that off a little bit. Maybe I won't end up with it stuck next time. Let's try a drop of this in the center and see if that will make a center for our flower. That looks green. Didn't really want it to look green. So let's do our Q-tip center here with the light colored orange. Where did it go? Here it is. Okay. I think it just really looks better on white. That's my thought. But now we know. Not too impressed with that one either. Oh, let's try and see if it'll work on this. I don't know. Haven't ever tried it on here before either. Okay, let me clean my hands some. This is a whiteboard. It's a little whiteboard fan. I got it at Dollar Tree. So we'll see how it works on this whiteboard. It may not do anything. I don't know. We'll try the photo paper after this, though. Okay. I'm going to show you another way to make flowers that I haven't shown you yet, and I've never been very good at this, so you'll just have to know that I'm not very good at this, but I don't know. It's possible. Let's try. Just let's start with 3 little flowers here. It doesn't look like it really wants to dry, like alcohol inks dry on tiles or on paper. So this may not work. See, it's not drying. So it may not make, if we were on a towel, it would dry much faster. It doesn't seem to be drying at all, to be honest. But it'll dry if you do that. We can make some kind of wildflowers here that are bug splatter. Oh, yay! That's just what I was going for. Oh, that's good, Holly. Oh, you're funny. Let's try. Let's make some. Let's make some blue bug splatter here. Well, it looks prettier where it doesn't mix. Yeah, that blue is really pretty. This mermaid, it's mermaid. No, this is stream. I thought it was mermaid. It's not. It's stream. Anyway, stream. And it's a very pretty color. Mermaid is another color I really like. I thought that's what this was. Let me find mermaid so you can see the difference. If I've got some, surely I do. Yeah, here it is. Ow, ow. It's just a little bit greener. Woo! That may not have been a good plan. That orange didn't look too bad, so I did this. Hi, Michelle. We're playing with alcohol inks, and this is a little white erase board. Probably like a teacher would make a hall pass out of or something. I don't know. Anyway, we're just playing. I'm trying to decide if I want to add another color. Holly says I'm making bug splatters. At least they're colorful. Oh, Kiki, I'm glad you came. Thank you. We love you too. Sleep well. Okay. I think I'm just gonna go for it. Try another color here. See if I've got. Here's some cranberry. That's very pretty. Let's see what will happen if we do some cranberry. I may totally mess it up. That's how you open alcohol inks you haven't used in a year. Let's do a tiny one right here and see how it goes. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that. Okay. Oh, too big. Woo! Just made a mess on me. Bug splatter on me. Okay. I've got this all over me. I'm such a mess. Okay. That's what my bug splatter thing looks like. Anyway, now you know you can do this on whiteboard, but you have to blow it with something because it doesn't want to it doesn't want to spread on its own like it does on other things. So alcohol inks don't always mix. Like sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, and a lot of it depends on whatever your substrate is. Sometimes they will make purple, sometimes they won't. It's a kind of always a new experience. Good night, Mary. Thanks for coming. Okay, now we're going to try a bunch of different kinds of I really did get it all over me. That red really splattered. Some different kinds of Yupo paper. Not Yupo paper. Well, first let's do a little bit on Yupo paper because so that way you can see what Yupo paper does, because it's kind of the gold standard for paper and alcohol ink. And this is Yupo paper made by legionpaper.com. You can find it there. I had to order it. I ordered it off of Amazon because you can't find it. At least I haven't been able to find it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but it's been a year since I looked, so they may carry it now. And a lot of people do watercolor on it. So if you get it and you don't like it with alcohol ink, you can always watercolor on it. But it is expensive compared to other papers, and it's expensive compared to most watercolor papers too. And I should have cut this down instead of playing on a big sheet because yeah, they do have Yupo on Amazon. That's how I got this, was on Amazon. I need a board to tape it down to because it's hard to manipulate it like this. It just makes drip things. Okay, this board is not really big enough, but it's the only thing I've got handy, so we'll just do it on here. But at least that way I can keep it flat while we play with it. Just play it and cut it down. That's right. Oh, goodness. I'm thinking about playing with drips and mixatives on this because that's what I've done on the UFO paper I like the most. But it's been such a long time, I really don't remember exactly what I did. So we're just going to try it and see if I can remember. We're just going to let it drip. And then let's actually do a little bit more because it's not really dripping like I want it to. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to turn it around and do a different color from this side. Um, hmm. Let's go ahead and let's do this terracotta. I don't have a lot of it left, so we'll just use it up doing this. Now that's the way I'm used to it dripping. Well, like that. Okay. It all blended together. I was too impatient, I think. So let's try adding the white to this. We'll do this, and then we'll do this, and then we'll let it drip. You can't see the white as good on camera. It looks darker. It looks yellower or something, at least on my computer. But it gives it kind of a milky look. Let's add some, add some mermaid to this. I think you probably would get the spots, Janet, if you sprayed the alcohol on it because it reacts a lot like the tiles do. It looks patriotic on there, but on here it's orange and green blue. It's not red and blue like it is on there, red, white, and blue. It's orange and a greenish blue and white. Oh, I wish I could remember what I did the last time where I got the waterfall. It looked like a waterfall coming down between two canyons or something, but I can't remember. I'm trying to decide if I want to. I don't really like it like this, so I'm trying to decide if I want to go ahead and spray it and see, so you can see what happens, or if I want to add another color and let it drip this way with the white. And what color would look the best if I did that? Or maybe something mixed with gold. No, don't do it for me. You sure, Janet? Okay, well, let's try the mixing of something with the gold. Trying to think what would look good. Maybe a blue? I don't know. Blue and gold, is that a good plan? I don't know. Let me get the, I've never used the gold on here, so this is an experiment. Both sides, yes, both sides are the same, at least as far as I know. So you can do it on two sides. It doesn't go through. Oh no, now the gold's not going to come out. Okay. All right, well, now we got it. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to see it, how you can see it the best. There we go. That's what we got now. Didn't get a whole lot of blue to actually drip. We just got the gold. So let's add some blue. Okay, that's kind of what we got at this point. So it's interesting. You might want to doodle on it or something. I don't know. I don't know what I think about it. It's definitely an abstract sort of thing. Trying to decide if I want to do something else with it or if we want to put something from this direction going that way. Some of that gold is still not dry and it's dripping back. Yeah, the gold is real shiny. It doesn't look as shiny. It mixes with the green and stuff. You have to get it in just the right light and then it really shines. But if it's not in the right light, you know, it's not so shiny. But the alcohol inks are pretty shiny. And when you put a sealer over them, they really look shiny and pretty. I feel like that needs something else, but I don't know what else to do with it. Maybe I just need to drip some drips. Let's drip some drips. Let's see what happens if we drip some drips. I know what we'll do. Oh, good grief. Knocked my baby wipe thing on the floor. Okay. We're going to do a color and the white. And then we're going to blow and see what happens. I'm trying to think what color I want to do. I think I want to go ahead and use this terracotta. That didn't do so well. Okay, I think my white is just too weak now. It's lost a lot of its stuff because it didn't really mix up like it should. So let's try the gold and do the same thing. Let's see if we can get it to. Maybe when it dries, you can stencil on pot flowers. That was a great idea, Janet. I wish I had read that before I did this. Oh, funny. Yep. It's kind of the way it goes. Here's what it looks like right now. I like it better with those, whatever those are, those amoebas or whatever they are. Tempted to put a drop of this mermaid in each one and just see what happens. Okay. Nothing like that. Okay, I got to do a couple more because that just looks way too symmetrical. And I always end up doing that. So let's add in a couple more to kind of lessen the Okay. See, now I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I need to add one here and here and here because it looks unsymmetrical. Oh, goodness. I'm just never happy. I wonder if we should put some an ocean scene with jellyfish. Yeah, maybe so. It looks more like that than anything else I've thought of. Okay, let's move on to the photo paper experiment because actually I'm gonna leave this like this. Okay, I've got different kinds of photo paper. Like I said, I got these at the thrift store. This one, I don't know what it is, but it's a no-name brand. I mean, literally has no name on it. So I don't know what it is, but I do know it doesn't work well. And I'm going to show you that beside this one that is HP. And we'll start with this. Let me find the scissors. I also am going to cut these in half so you can see the difference between the front of the photo paper and the back of the photo paper. Okay. The front is on the right and the back is on the left. Okay, now you can see, looking at it, that this responds a lot like the like it does on the tiles. And on the front of that same paper, it does a little bit better, but on this one, it doesn't do anything. It just soaks right in on both sides. So when you got really cheap photo paper, it doesn't respond like alcohol ink. It'll color it, but it doesn't bloom. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and do a couple more dots here so we can compare them. Now this doesn't bloom as much as that. Let's try putting dots inside them and see what will happen. Okay, you can see the bloom on this one compared to this. So while this one is better than those, it still works better if you do it on the back side because the front side is made to soak up ink. And so you don't want it to soak it up. That's the you know, that's the joy of the alcohol inks is that they're on a non-porous surface. So that's why we want them on the back. So let's add some yellow to it. And you can watch it bloom. And this, you can see that this is mixing somewhat. It's moving it out of the way, but it doesn't move it completely, and so it does end up mixing. Okay, what's going on? What are y'all talking about here? Somebody smoking? Yeah. Yeah, the back of the photo paper is all that really works if you're using the photo paper. Um, and that's what I was trying to show you, that the front works better, but not good. So this is what, and this is really fun just to make these drops, and then go back in and doodle on them later after they dry. That's a lot of fun. I just know how excited you get. The wheels are turning. Oh, no, wheels are turning. Yes, I like experiments that work out. And the photo paper is one. Now this is the HP photo paper, and that one worked really well. This is some Epson premium glossy photo paper, so we'll see how it works. We'll work on the back of it too. This first one was HP, and this one is Epson. Sometimes the funnest ones to doodle on are the ones you just kind of splash it around and let it do whatever it wants to. You can make it drip some if you want to. As it's moving things out of the way, that it gathers up on the edges, and then you can manipulate it a little bit. You can use a blow dryer or canned air, but if you use the blow dryer, you need to use it on the cool setting. I've never done it with the blow dryer, but I've seen people do it. I have used the canned air, and it's fun, but it does spurts, and so it more sprays it like when you blow through a straw, whereas the blow dryer kind of dries it as it's moving rather than shooting it off somewhere. And these are really fun to doodle on. I really enjoy that. Let's add a little bit of this. This is a real pale color. I don't know if it'll even if it'll do anything or not. Oh, that's great, Care. That'll be fun. Working on those ends. That's great. Yay for Walgreens. Now then we can do we can spray it, and it'll do the same thing on here if you spray it that it does on the tiles. Which gives you even more fun doodling opportunities. I really like those. Those will make you can make some pretty flowers out of them. They'll also make pretty planets to cut out circles and use in our abandoned places book. You listening, Care? You can make planets. That would be fun. And before we go on and do some other things with the photo paper and play with it different ways, I want to show you this other thing I got. I got this also at the thrift store, and it's I haven't tried it yet, so we'll see. This is Avery photo paper. It says Microsoft Picture It software, so it's but what they are is they've got, it's a a full size sheet, and you're supposed to print off different size pictures on it. But this one's all looks like 4x6s. Anyway, I thought we'd play on the back of this, and then we could punch them out. We would have some borders and stuff, different things to use. So let's try some purple twilight. Oh, I know. I've only got to do one page in my book, Care, but I'm looking forward to doing some more. Next Monday night, I'm planning to do another one. I may not be able to do anything between now and then because I've got this garage sale I've got to go to. Okay, now see, this one is not spreading like the Epson and the HP did. It's just sitting there. It's not soaking in. So we can do some pouncing. Let's try. Let me go ahead and add some more of this color, and then we'll add, let's add some of that petal. See if we can get them to drip around. Maybe we blow them. So that's kind of fun. Let's add some other colors since we can see it working sort of. Let's do some of this sunset orange. Oh, now this one's going ahead and blooming. Isn't that odd? But only where the other ones have already been blown. Huh. That's funny. It's fun and usable, but it's not it doesn't work at like the tiles like the other ones do. So let's try, where's that poppy one? There it is. Poppy field. Let's add some of this in and see. Well, this might be interesting if you want to learn how to do something with some white space to do some doodling with some white space. Let's put some more of this pale color in here. See if we can. I'm almost out of it anyway. Might as well use it because it's not one of my favorites. I like the darker stuff. Okay. Thank you, Patricia. What does Janet need an encouragement about? You will be awesome, Janet. Don't worry about it. I believe that's true, but what is it she's wanting to be awesome about? I really should. After watching Lisa last week, she inspired me. Well, I'm glad you're inspired, Janet. Working in an abandoned places book, or just reverse collage in general? Is that what you're inspired about? Yes. Okay. Well, good. Well, I'm nervous too. I understand. It's a little scary, especially when you got this book that you already love the pictures in. And when you love those pictures, you don't want to mess them up. But I'm encouraged by watching everybody else's, and they're all different and they all look great. And and I'm encouraged that I can enjoy doing it, and that I will like it and other people might like it, even if it's not as good as Dee Dee's. And that's why I'm enjoying watching everybody else, because I'm like, okay, they're not doing just what Dee Dee did. They're doing like more like what I've done. And so that encourages me, that I don't have to try to do it as good as Dee Dee. Oh, yeah. When I look at Dee Dee, I get nervous too. But but we just need to all keep going and encourage each other, because surely she had one that didn't turn out amazing. There's bound to be one. I haven't seen it, but surely she's done something that didn't turn out amazing. Actually, she is one of my very favorite people to watch. Everything she does is just beautiful. Um, and she's so into encouraging everyone else, and so that just is amazing too. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of this sailboat blue, mix it in here so we can try to get a little bit more color on here, because me and my white space thing. And I'm just going to let this do what it does, I think, because nothing else is blooming like that blue. It's blooming pretty good. Maybe I've got enough ink on here that it's um, well, Dee Dee, it looks like Dee Dee's been doing art for 40 years. It really does. She does just beautiful stuff. I mean, she can color in a coloring book, and I'm in awe. That's all she has to do is color in a coloring book. She's just amazing. Everything she does is amazing. Um, but I love how she's willing to show her process of everything. I mean, she's very transparent and open, and she shows everything, every step she does. And I love that, because I wouldn't have the courage to try any of it if I wasn't watching her. Oh, Holly, you have to look up Dee Dee. She's got she does beautiful stuff, and she does colored pencil portraits that are amazing too. So um let me show you real quick, Holly. Were you here last week when I did the abandoned places thing? Did you see mine? Because I can at least show you sort of what we're talking about, even if it's nothing as amazing as Dee Dee's. Um, okay, I'll show her. Okay, this is the book I have. It's called Abandoned, and it's Ruins, Wrecks, and Monuments of a Forgotten Past. Now, this is not the original book that Dee Dee started working in and that most people are using. This one's about twice as big. But this is the one my husband bought me, and I've only done one page. I want to work on that one next, I think. I love that. But the one I did is I call it the Jailbird, and he's doing time. But Dee Dee she puts planets in and makes her own little worlds, and she always has a clock. And lots of times there's water and all of the elements that I've tried to do here. Um, but what you see here is a very, very amateur version of what she does. And so you will love watching her. Yeah, Thank you, Janet, for putting the link in. Anyway, this was a lot of fun. I had fun doing it, and I'm not as scared now as I was before I did this. But I'm still nervous about it. But because I don't want to mess up the book, because it's just got amazing pictures. Let's just show you a few of the pictures. There's ocean wrecks. Um, there's castles. I love that one too. Look at that. There's all these places where you can. I'm just showing you a few of them as I flip through. And there are lots of books that have some of these kinds of pictures in. You don't have to spend the money to get this book. Like the one Care's working in. It's not, it's an older version of this kind of book, but it's not as expensive as this one. My husband, I wouldn't have bought the book. I told him I wasn't spending that kind of money on it. I'm looking forward to doing this one too. But he bought it for me. I'm looking forward to a bunch of them actually. This one even has some haunted palaces and castles that are in black and white. Well, I didn't show you very many black and whites, though, did I? Well, there are some more that are in black and white, but there's jails. Oh, you're not being able to see that very good. Sorry. See, there's some more of the haunted castles that are in black and white. So there's Alcatraz and the jail. That's where, but there's just all kinds of pictures. Here I've got one where we've got this gargoyle, and this old cowboy has kind of the same look on his face. So I'm wanting to put him there. You can see if there's any more that I've got stuff in. I've got stuff in some of them that I'm thinking about using. I haven't got anything in that one. I found some girls doing ballet and they're laying on the floor, and I may put them in there and make this an exercise place. I don't know why those are in there. Oh, because this girl with her virtual reality would seem so out of place. That was one I thought about putting in there. Let me see if there's some where the others are that I've actually got stuff in. Okay, here's one that I've thought about doing where I can have this old cowboy looking behind him and then having what he really should be afraid of down here, but I haven't figured out what he's going to be afraid of. And here's another one. See, I had these cowboys. I found them in a magazine, and so I cut them all out. So I decided to call this one, if I do it this way, I don't know if I will, but this is Texas Goes to Scotland. I'll put those in there. And then, then the little, that cowboy. Anyway, this is a great book, and I'm looking forward to working in it. But it doesn't have to be that book. You can work in anything that you like. I was trying to, and that's one thing that Dee Dee says, that, if you're not into abandoned places, don't get an abandoned places book. Get something else, whatever you really love. Okay, these are still not dry, but I was going to show you what, because these were made to, you print your pictures out and then you just rip them out of the page. So there's a little background. I'm having trouble doing this because it's still wet. Oh no, tore it. Whoops, whoops, whoops. We've got these little bitty pieces that we can put in, you know, something else. There's another one. And here's a little bitty one that was just extra spot. Okay. Anyway, those will be fun to doodle on, I think. Yeah, they would. You could even just add little, you know, little parts of it. But anyway, those worked out pretty fun. What was the other? There was something else I was gonna show you. Um, ah, I don't remember what it was. The something else. And we have been doing this for 3 hours and 21 minutes. And I figure y'all are tired. I am tired. So I know you have to be tired. So unless there's something specific that you want me to show you with the alcohol inks, I think we ought to call it an evening. Is there something else that y'all want me to show you with alcohol inks? Something you thought I would show you and I didn't? Or something I said I was going to show you and I didn't? Yeah, it's getting late, Janet. Playing makes the time go by very fast. Well, thank you, Care. I'm glad you came. Hugs back. I enjoy having you. It's a lot more fun to do this when you're really right there and not just doing a plain video that I know somebody's going to watch later. You know, it's more fun to do it when people are watching right now and I can ask you questions and you can answer me. That's fun. Anyway, well, y'all have a great evening. Thank you much. If you think of any questions that I didn't answer or that you would like that you thought of later, you can just comment on this video when it goes up on YouTube, and I'll try to answer them if I can. Maybe I can make another short video that just about that certain thing if you want to see something again. Okay, love you all. Bye bye.